came to me and he was like, hey, you look like a supermodel. Many people told me that. I did a worldwide campaign with Armani. I think that was one of my biggest paychecks, was about 20,000 euros. I have to say the pictures look absolutely amazing. Today I will share a couple stories about how I became a model, and also I will share a couple secret modeling techniques I learned at Giorgio Armani. Hey guys, today I will share a couple stories about how I became a model, and also I will share a couple secret modeling techniques I learned at Giorgio Armani. So today we have a beautiful photographer here. What's your name?
Focal fairy.
Focal fairy?
Yeah.
What does it mean?
It means a fairy behind the camera.
Beautiful. Okay, cool. Since how long have you been in the industry?
It's been 8 years. I'm doing photography, working in the fashion industry with models. I'm also a modeling coach.
Where are you from?
I'm from Iran.
Iran?
Yes,
Lovely.
I'm Persian.
Awesome. What are your best experiences with working with brands?
I worked with so many big brands like Lamborghini, Cheruti, like big names in even F&B industry, but mostly in fashion industry. That's my favorite, and that's my passion to do.
He looks like really supermodel.
Yes, he does, especially with this braids.
You prepared some outfits for us.
Yes, we have 4 outfits here. I hope they fit well. So the first one here, we go for smart casual style because of the lines, because of the color of the lines.
All right, we're going to the fitting room. I'm gonna change to my first outfit. Hi guys, you will stay out. First of all, I did not really decide. It wasn't my conscious plan. I was working back then as a waiter in a restaurant called the Radisson Blu. Back then, I was lucky to be at the right time, at the right place. Sometimes you have to be a little bit lucky in life. And an angel came into my life. His name is Norman. I was on my way to work, walking through the city, getting just a couple sun rays on my mind. And there was this tall, 6'1" tattooed guy. Actually, back then he was a supermodel, or still is, I guess. I saw his face before on the billboard. Yes, he's a really famous model actually. I think he worked for Dior. Many shoots all around the world. He worked for Puma. And I looked at him, he looked at me. He was like looking at me, and it was a little bit strange for me, to be honest, but he came to me and he was like, hey, you look like a supermodel. Thanks. It's like, hey, no, but for real, I think you should model. I was like, many people told me that. Yeah, and he's like, just send me a couple pictures. Anything that you have, I will forward it to my agent and maybe it will work out. Yeah, that was my start. The rest is history. I actually did not make it. Back then I lived like 1 hour from Berlin, and I did not make it to Berlin in a month until, I will elaborate later, they sent me a lot of mails, but I never checked my mail inbox. And they already sent me job requests, and I just saw it afterwards. It was just spamming my mail, and then I saw one job request and it was for $600 or $500, and I was like, wow. I called them and I was like, is that a zero too much? They was like, no, couldn't that be cool for your birthday is around? I was 17 at the time. I did the job and it went well.
Okay, nice. Yes.
Okay, we just shot our first outfit. We kept it pretty simple. I like how you guided me through it to make me feel like, you know...
Just warming up.
Yeah, warming up. Guys, at the start, you're just warming up. Don't see the camera as something that's external. Just see a camera as your best friend. And then just get comfortable, do some simple poses like you told me. Hands in the pockets.
And the second one, which is already a set itself, and I like it because of the texture. It's like interesting, it's not just solid color. So we should go for that for the next one.
He probably stuck in changing room. Help, please! Help! Armani boy is stuck in the changing room. It's his worst nightmare. Excuse me, we need help. We need help. So okay.
Oh, I thought I'm stuck. Oh. Pro tip, use your surroundings. No matter if you're in the studio, if you're outside, interact with each other. If you have another model on the shoot, you interact, you laugh, you play around, you sit on the floor, maybe you have a tree you can lean against. Anything you have, use it. It was an e-com shoot for Zalando, a big online shop. It's similar than ASOS.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I came there, I had no experience at all, and because I worked as a waiter, I was really polite. I came to Berlin, I was really polite. I came from a small village, super shy, and I remembered everyone's last name. So I came to set, I remembered everyone's last name, super polite, and they were like, who's that guy with the green eyes? Like, he remembers all of our names. It's not typical in Berlin. He's so polite, like, we like him. And they started to book me almost every week.
Every week? You have like every week $600?
Yeah.
And 70 years old?
18 at the time, yeah. My goal was to make my breakthrough in Italy. I wanted to work for any big fashion house. And back then I told my agent in Germany, hey, it's my dream to walk on a catwalk. Can you make it happen? Can you get my feet into the door into the Italian market? And they were like, okay, I'm gonna make a couple calls. And I received the feedback that they didn't want to sign me because back then, like Afro, kind of African models wasn't really asked for. In a huge runway show, you have 100 male models and maybe 2-3 are African. And so they weren't really interested. So I told my agent, hey, you don't have to pay anything in advance. You don't have to take care of my flights, my accommodations. I'll pay it out of my own pocket. Just give me the opportunity to go to castings. So I took a leap of faith, flew to Italy, told them I'm gonna come. Yeah, I went to maybe 20 castings a day, all the big names you could think of. My last casting was for Armani. Armani does their castings at the headquarters, and you have this huge Armani, multiple buildings, really royal. There are thousands of models from all over the world. West Africa, Latinos, you have kids from Asia, and you have a long, long line. And they only open their doors every half an hour, and the casting goes for maybe 3 hours. So as soon as the door opens, the gate, everybody runs like rugby players because they want to get in. And yeah, I arrived, as German as I am, an hour early, and people were still queuing before. So I wasn't even the first, but I was somewhere in the middle, and I got in. I ran in, waited in line, and I walked out in front of the casting, the jury, and Mr. Armani himself is still doing the scouting as well. So he sits there with his Armani team. And I walked out, I stood in front of him, looked him in the eye, and he was talking to his right hand. Something in Italian, he doesn't speak English. And then they were like, okay, Leroy, please, wait. I was like, okay. Looked at him, I was like, okay, they were writing something down. And then they say, oh, you can go. Yeah, I walked out, I was like, that was interesting. And 1 hour later, my agent called me, Leroy, Armani wants to see you again tomorrow. Come back, be ready. And I went to the fitting, clothes were fitting really well, and I was booked. That was my first catwalk.
And how old you was?
I was 19. And was I nervous? Of course, yeah. The funny thing is there's a huge preparation for these shows and so many small details. And Mr. Armani himself, he's doing the last touch-ups and he's dressing you up and looking at you before you go out. And then you have a huge wall of cameras and flashlight in you. Really surreal experience. But the walk itself is only 10 seconds. So it's like, as soon as you're out, you're just in the zone and then it's over. You just appreciate the moment.
This one is like earth tones color. I think this is your style based on the mood board that you sent me. And we can pair it with these pants, which is nice contrast as well.
I have to say the pictures look absolutely amazing. Thank you for guiding me. You were an absolute professional.
Well. I like this
small details I like putting the glasses down and then so you can see my eyes. I did a worldwide campaign with Armani. We shot in Milan and the team was so professional. They actually had a guy called Mr. Stephen Galloway, who is a choreographer. He just helps lighten the mood, so he was just there to make jokes, get you in the zone. That at the end, it was so natural for all of us because it was a group of 3 guys and 3 girls, and we were just laughing around. It was like a 90s disco kind of vibe. It came off so natural that it wasn't not really like a shoot. We had Steven there, he was entertaining us, and we were just interacting with each other, and they were shooting. That campaign was everywhere in the world. I actually received pictures from like even the Caribbean, like guys in the Caribbean sent me pictures because they saw me in a mall. So it was surreal to see myself all over the place. And the campaign was just fun. I'm still friends with all of the models and the crew because it was really a familiar feeling and a familiar shooting. He has this energy about him. He's really like royal. I mean, he's one of the richest guys in Italy, and he still has the passion to come and does the last touch-ups. He's super involved in everything. Everyone treats him with respect, and you just look up to him. He just commands the room. You feel his aura, and actually when he walks into the room, everyone is like, he's coming, he's coming, he's coming. Everyone's like putting their phone away, sitting straight. And one time I remember some models were too loud. He screamed something in Italian. Everyone was like,
stand that. Sir, yes, sir. Bullshit, I can't hear you. Sound off like you got a pair. Sir, yes,
sir. He's just a stand-up guy. He's just, what can I say? He's the man. There's one clothing brand called Stone Island. I like the shoot because I like the brand and I wear it myself. It's more of, they have a lot of windbreakers, jackets. I worked with Nautica in the USA. That was my first shoot in the States. It's a huge name in the States, the brand. And we were out in Long Island and they rented this whole beach house. They had a private beach. Again, phenomenal crew. It was funny because it was my first shooting in the States, and my friend Alpha Dia, who's the biggest German male model, at that time lived in the States and he had an apartment in Brooklyn. So I arrived one day before the shoot. I slept at his apartment. We played FIFA till 4 a.m. I said, okay, I have to go to bed now, but I was so excited to be in the States the first time. I was like buzzing. I had to wake up at 7. Yeah, I was young and dumb, but overslept, half an hour late. I was like, okay, I'm rushing to the location where the driver waits. I'm taking the Uber into the wrong direction, and then I had to call the casting director. I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, overslept a little, but I'm on the way there now. And she was super rushing. It was like, oh my God, how can you be late? You need to be there quickly, yada, yada, yada. And I was like, okay. Told the driver, hey, we have to get there quickly. We're driving there. I see like the bridge in New York. I see the car. I entered the car with the driver. I was like, yeah. I was full of sweat, super excited. Get in. Nobody's there. I was like, hey, like, where's everyone? Oh, yeah, nobody arrived yet. You're the first one. And I was like, okay, maybe the game here in America is a little bit different. The casting director wasn't even there and she told me I have to rush. But yeah, I was in the car waiting. We went to Long Beach and we shot the campaign. It was winter month and I was in the sea to my waist and the waves were hitting me. Super cool experience, super cool pictures.
Can you share 2 or 3 posing tricks that really help your career?
Easy, let's do it. Okay guys, here are some secrets. The Armani Fashion House taught me how to do better modeling poses and pictures. First steps first. Don't just stand straight there like this and pose. What you have to do is create white spaces and angles. For example, angle here, you have an angle here, you pose. Another simple pose you can do, for example, on the floor. Sit down, you have space here. Also there's one funny term called smizing. You laugh with your eyes, so you keep straight, look into the camera, and you imagine a really good scenario in your life. Maybe think about your family. You just look and your eyes light up, which makes a really warm kind of picture. It's just nice to look at and it's a nice expression. Third step, that's the secret sauce, okay? Actually, when you're at the shoot, you have a certain energy you want to bring. Let's say you have a suit on and you have a little pocket in your hand. Think about yourself as you're a banker that walks through Manhattan. Think about it. Imagine it, lock in, and then really walk through New York City, look around. For example, you could also imagine just being at a bus stop and you're just waiting around. You could also be a secret agent and you're super serious. Or somebody offends your mom and you're like, what did you say to my mom? I think you understand.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
If you see this Alpha Dia, I started my career, and one of the first catwalk shows we had in Berlin Fashion Week, we walked together. Back then we weren't known at all, but he made it super far. He's amongst the likes of Naomi Campbell, Sean O'Pride, whoever name you want to call, he's up there with them, and I'm super happy for him. Then also Adonis Bosso, also great male model who represents African models. He's from the Ivory Coast. Kiko Henriquez, also a great mate. First modeling gig that made me go wow was actually my first shoot. I was working as a waiter, making 400 euros a month, just making ends meet. And at the end of the month I was always broke. Yeah, well, if you're 16, 17, maybe you buy a couple of shoes, not even a couple, maybe one pair. Or I remember once my grandma and me, we were in the mall. She came to visit me in my city and she was like, hey Leroy, you have to be really aware with your money. Maybe you buy one pair of jeans a year, that's enough, or two. And I was like, Grandma, one pair, I need more. So I was always kind of living the way I wanted. I mean, if you go out sometimes, that costs money. New clothes, and then at the end of the month I was always broke. Luckily I could eat in the hotel for free, so that was good. But my diet was really trash. Back then I ate a baguette and instant noodles. That was my nutrition. When I received the email for the first job for 500 euros, that was more than my monthly salary. So that for me already was like, wow, I can make that in a day. That's crazy. So, yeah.
Is it secret how much Armani brand paid you?
Well, for the catwalk, it was around $2,000 or euros, which is good money. Just back then, I didn't have a great deal with my agency in Italy, with my agent. So I had to give up half of my fee that I received. So in my pocket, it wasn't as much. My biggest fee, actually, yeah, I've done a commercial for Volkswagen internationally, and we flew to Chile. The billboards were in Santiago in Chile, and then in Buenos Aires in Argentina we filmed the commercial. And that was a huge job, just because it's a huge car brand. And if you do commercials, each country buys the rights and then the money vastly multiplies. So I think that was one of my biggest paychecks, was about 20,000 euros, and I received another 20 a year later. And I think then maybe 5 or 10 the year after. So it was great. That's a great question. I think it wasn't much through talking, because I didn't have much interactions with him because of the language barrier. But what stands out to me is his passion towards his empire. He has hotels, is involved in many other projects, and unsee his passion for what he does. Thinks about his businesses and has a lot of details, because he's still out there designing and doing the last touch-ups. That showed me that I have to be structured and think long-term and always approach each day with a certain level of consistency and eye to detail. I think you only see the glamorous side. I think that it looks really glamorous from outside, but inside as a model I can say that it's a lot of waiting. You have to be really, really patient. Like, I was working on chart. On chart means that you're one call away, so your agent basically has the right to book you into any job, and they call you and you have to be ready in 12 hours. Could be the same day actually. So a lot of times I received a call, and by the way, I always had a luggage with winter clothes and summer clothes just to be ready. Let's say I receive a call Leroy, you have to fly to New York or you have to fly to London. The flight goes in 6 hours. Then first of all, nobody can plan with you. Like your friends, your family, it's tough for them because let's say a friend invites me to a birthday, but then I get a call, be like, okay, I can't come, you know? A lot of people don't like it if you're not reliable, but then also I know the people that stick with me, I can trust, and they know me for who I am, and they know what I do, and they know I don't mean it personal, but that is what a lot of models deal with, that it's hard to have good relationships. On top of that, again, you have to go to the airport, that's 2 hours. You wait around at the airport until the flight goes, you fly somewhere, you get picked up, then you're in the hotel. You just go to rest, you don't even... Sometimes I, for example, flew to Stockholm. I did not see Stockholm once. I was just in the plane, in the taxi, in the studio. You have to bring the energy on set as always, as you see today. If you have a lot of people on set, camera, and your action, your energy is gonna be on point. So after 3 days of shooting, I would just sit at home in a dark room and recharge my battery. It's definitely tougher than people perceive it to be. My proudest moment definitely was seeing myself on like the biggest billboard in Milan for the first time. Made me smile. I took a picture, we can put it in. I was super happy, big smile. I was like 20 years old. It was a summer in Milan. And I had a good time. Be friendly and you have to be likable. And that's an art in itself because clients can book any model and they only book you in the future if they like you and if you have a good time together. Because at the end of the day, it's still a job. You have other people like makeup artists, photographers, set builders, and if you're a dick on set and you think you're something better because you're the center of attention, then they won't book you anymore long term. But if you bring a vibe and you're friendly and you have a good time with them and you make them feel comfortable, then they love that and they will book you again. And that's how you get a regular client. Back then, I was just happy for any new gig. So I would wake up, I was really pumped. I'd do like 50 push-ups, 100 push-ups. I would have my coffee. I would listen to positive music I like, because I know once I'm on set, I have to be positive. I have to bring the energy. So I try my best to be in a conscious mindset and I'm positive, life is good. And that's just like a switch you have to flip over. And that always helped me a lot. It's not pressure anymore because I've done it since over 10 years. I actually really enjoy it. I don't think about the camera as something that pressures me. Like I imagine my best friends and we're just doing pictures and it's fun and I let loose. And especially if you have a good photographer, you can communicate and can guide you a little bit, then it's really fun for me. First things first, look online what big agencies there are nearby. If you live in a big city, you have a lot of major agencies. You go to their website, there's always a little info how to become a model. Most of the times you have to send in your measurements, which is easy, you just measure yourself. And then they want Polaroid pictures. Polaroid pictures is nothing fancy. Don't wear any fancy outfits, wear something simple. Black pants, white shirt, look for a neutral wall and you just do simple pictures that show how you look, who you are, what your personality is like. They just want to see you playing because it's not about the external, it's not about the clothes, it's about you. Do different angles from the side, from the front, and some relaxed where you just lean against the wall, have your hand in your pocket, and you do these snaps, you have your measurements, and then you send applications to the big agencies, and if they like you, then they will reach out to you. Personally, I always had good measurements.
What is your right now height and weight?
I weigh 83 kilograms right now. I'm 6'2". I'm 187 centimeters. In the men's industry, it's not so tough. Like you kind of have to fit into size M. For women, it's much tougher. They have to really be on point with their weight and with their figure and with their training. I heard Asians say to female models, like you're getting fat, please go to the gym, eat less. And then I've met girls who just had one orange. They ate one orange in a day. I was like talking to one model on set, hey, do you want to go to dinner? And he was like, no, I'm not going to eat today. I'm only eating the other half of my orange. And I was like, what? crazy. But for guys, it's not that serious. I always made sure I maintain my physique. Mostly I've done bodyweight training, a lot of push-ups, a lot of sit-ups, really natural, jogging. Gym maybe 3 times a week whenever I could do it, but I'm not a big gym guy. If you have a goal and you strive to get better, you get 1% better every day and you're disciplined, then you're a successful person in my eyes. Yeah, that's a good question. I love that question. Good job. I looked at other models becoming huge campaigns and I was asking, why do they get it? I worked harder for it. I booked a flight myself to Milan. I went to the biggest cities just to network and to be around the people, casting directors, for them to see me, and I didn't get the campaigns I felt like I deserved. And I realized that I'm operating on my own kind of timeline and I want things, but whenever it's meant to be, there's also God's timeline and He opens your doors whenever He feels like you're ready. So sometimes I wasn't ready yet, and I was frustrated, but as soon as I let go and I trusted in God's timing, all of a sudden, once I forgot about it and I was still positive and I still wanted it, it happened. And then I was booked and I was booked again and I was booked again. And that's God's timing. So regardless if you're frustrated because things are not moving forward, sit back, pray, stay positive. First of all, about discipline, I think it's extremely important to be disciplined. And I've read a study the other day that there are more millionaires in the United States than people who are fit and who have a six-pack. So a fit body and to have a six-pack is more valuable in the States nowadays than actually money. And personally, if you look at someone who is fit, how did they get there? Nobody comes along and just hands you a six-pack and you wake up and bam, like you're ripped. It doesn't happen like that. So what do? They go to training 3-4 times a week. They look into nutrition. They educate themselves about nutrition, just live a healthy lifestyle. And it's the same way with anything. If you want to be disciplined, you have to work on your goal daily and make a plan. You will fail, and then you rearrange your plan. You might fail again. It's part of the game. And the most important thing is to don't give up and to look back at your drawboard, at your plan, and start again and put in the reps daily. I personally train boxing 6 times a week right now. Before that, I've always done a lot of push-ups, bodyweight, sit-ups, pull-ups also really important for me personally because I like to look natural. Yeah, that's my routine right now. A lot of boxing, a lot of bodyweight.
Do you wake up every day at the same time?
Yes, I wake up right now at 6:30. I want to wake up at 4, but I have to also find a time when I adjust my schedule to 4 a.m.
Do you read the Bible every day or you pray every day?
I pray every day. I have my book called Jesus is Calling, where there's one Bible phrase I pray on, and I start my day with that. I have to read the Bible more, to be honest. I pray whenever I have rest time. It could be in the car, it could be in the lift, it could be when I have a weak moment, I close my eyes and pray. Anytime.
This nice pink here, and these pants, which I'm a fan of the contrast between these two, the navy blue pants and the pastel pink.
Okay, my model partner right now is Julius Caesar, and he's also a great model, great ruler, great king.
This is our new set, the last one, Flamingo Disco.
Thank you. This is Julita, my assistant. Starbucks, text me. We're done, guys. It was an amazing shoot. Thank you, Focal. You're super professional. I work with many photographers all around the world. I have to say, you lead me through it really, really well. Your instructions, you just know what you're doing.
So glad to hear that.
Tell the people where to follow you on Instagram and on your
Yes,
socials.
my Instagram is Focal Ferry. I would be happy if you guys follow me as well. And it was my pleasure shooting you. It was a great time.
So how is Leroy for you? How you can rate his model skill?
I'm rating him 10 since he was like,
From 100?
was
From 100?
no, from 10.
Yeah, I have to say, in a shooting, It's always a team effort, and it's 50-50. And when I'm on set and I'm working with someone experienced who can communicate well, and you share the vision, you talk about it, it's much easier for me as well. So thank you.
Okay, guys.
All right, guys, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.